Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Om Namo Gurudev Namo. Ankaraname, Jugakaname, Sakaraname, Siddhigurudevaname, Ankaraname, Jugakaname, Sakaraname, Siddhigurudevaname, Ankaraname, Jugakaname, Sakaraname, Siddhigurudevaname. Long deep breath. Keep breathing. Stay with Baba Siddhi-chan with his arms all around of you. Good. And keep up. Okay, so now this is from Baba Siddhi-chan for today. Right now is what he says. Find out about fear regarding truth. You got it? Fear regarding truth. Do you understand that? Is there anybody that doesn't understand that?
We just got Sahaj, and she's just connecting her audio. So Sahaj, it's fear regarding truth. Oh no, where did she go? There she is.
Oh, good. Thank you.
Wait a minute, did I hear that right? Fear regarding truth or here
Yes.
regarding truth?
Say it again.
Did you say here or fear?
Fear. F-E-A-R. You got it?
Yep, thanks.
Okay. So here we go. These are the times right now. Well, starting Monday. Here we go. This will be 3 minutes for our, what do you say, our meditation, and begin. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Good. Now, each of you, there are a lot of you today, which is really wonderful. So maybe we will make that a little longer, if that's okay. If somebody has to go for just 1 hour, let me know now. Is somebody okay?
Satnam, I'm only able to make it to stay till the top of the hour.
Oh, okay. Good. Okay, so now, thank you, dear. So
Mhm.
now let's start with Agya Paul.
So this was really a good experience for me. I needed it. So I asked Baba, truth, fear regarding truth. And Baba said, truth is a knowing beyond words. True. He said, as you stay close to me and to soul, you will be fed, you'll be aware of the truth. And this truth will is going to transform you. But the fact is that it's beyond words. To speak the truth is it's to know the truth. It's a knowing beyond all knowing and beyond all understanding that I have experienced until now. And so the fear is, and he said, there are different levels. Of course, what's going on now, what I presented to him, with the government and what's happening and, fact checking and all, he's like, no, the truth about which you need not fear is beyond anything. And he said that um, so I said, what is the truth for me? And he said, the truth for you is that you are an Aquarian leader. And which means nothing fancy. It's just that you are open to soul and you're open to me, and you will bring unity and love and light to every to everyone you meet, and you will send this to every part of your day and part of your life, is to send this love and light to everyone, um, in the earth, because that is the only way that is the way that the truth will, that the truth will uh, conquer the, will prevail, and that anything else that's less than, from the dark side, and we're all familiar with the dark web and all of that, will be subservient to, and will be dissolved. The fear of all of that will be dissolved as I continue to make the sacrifices needed to be an Aquarian leader. And I think that's the message that, and so again, I'll just end by saying that he emphasized that to listen to him and to soul, for the messages of truth. And the listening may come in different unexpected ways, that not through words, not through language, but through other experiences, through the eyes, and through the heart. And as all of this happens, my heart center will expand. And that's what an Aquarian leader is. That's what I strive toward. And he said, I got you covered. Just, just, depend on me, believe in me, and have faith in me. And I got you covered. So thank you for listening.
Great. Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank Baba Siri, John.
Yes, really. Okay. Breathe out. Know that. And this is for everybody. You know that. Isn't
Yep.
that true, Agia Paul?
Oh,
Yes. Mhm.
glad you said that. I didn't think of it, but you're absolutely right. Yes, we all are Aquarian leaders.
That's right. Because we've been talking about light workers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is it. You got it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, dear.
Mm.
Okay. Now, Sat Nishan.
There we go. Yes, thank you. This was good. Let me just look at my notes. Fear regarding truth. So this is what I heard. Here we are. We have been, or we, as in humans, us here in the US especially, had been anticipating what will happen and like holding our breath a lot. And now we see it. And he said, fear is the plan. Fear is the plan, so that we cower and we look away and we hide. And he said, fear grows in isolation. So reach out and be with people, ask for help. And then I went to my own fear. And, personally, I have a fear that, well, this takes a little bit of a backstory. So the land sanctuary that I'm building, and it's a space. So I'm an African American woman, and we are in this beautiful area of northeastern Minnesota, right by Gitchigame, Lake Superior. And we're building a space that is accessible, welcoming, and safe for folks like me, Black folks, Brown folks, Indigenous folks, and all of our relatives, but centering on our healing and rest in nature, and stewarding the earth and being stewarded by the earth. And in our process of getting our land use permit last year, we discovered the opposition, which rose to the surface. Our neighbors who did not want us there once they knew our plans. And it got pretty scary. We went through a public hearing where they had to have an armed sheriff's deputy in the room because of comments that had been made in community prior to and in between both of our hearing meetings. And what we did is we reached out to people in the community who we knew supported us, and they just organized. And we met people who were in support who we'd never met before. And the supporters just totally drowned out the opposition in the whole process. And we got our permit, and then our neighbors sued the county to take it away. And just last week, so this is what he was getting to, he said, look at what happened last week. And just last week, and this is after a year of this lawsuit going on, we got word that the neighbors were dropping their charges completely because they were not based in anything true. It's just that they didn't want us there because of all the reasons. We're people, we're you people, we're scary people, we'll make noise, whatever. And so, so he said, let's see, look at what happened with the lawsuit. Truth prevailed. Fear of the truth coming to light about their actions was a motivator. So not being quiet, that was the other big message. Continue to speak out when things are happening that are wrong, things are happening that are harming people. And when you need help, reach out. And of course, to Baba Siri Chand too. But when people are doing things and they expect to get away with the things that are not right, things that are harmful, oftentimes they're emboldened because they think that it'll be accepted, or they can do it in the shadows. But now, in the light of day, given the administration, that further emboldens them. However, there's more people out here that recognize what the truth is and who we really are. And it's really just about making that call and calling to people's humanity and saying, is this who we are? Come help me be who we are and do the right thing and show those who would harm us that will not stand. And so that's what I got. And then he asked me to put photos of him around all of our structures on the land. And then he said, remember the pastor. And he's talking about the pastor from yesterday's service out in DC, where Trump and Vance and all of their people were there. And I don't know if any of you saw it, but if you did, it was really a blessing and a lesson in courage, because during this church service specifically for the Trump administration, the pastor spoke truth to power. She was so courageous and she pled with him. She asked for mercy on behalf of all the people who are already in line to be harmed by what he is doing. And she just did it straight to his face, very calm and very direct. And of course, that made him very upset. But that's an example of what each of us can do. And we won't necessarily know the moment, but I believe that every person will have at least one moment when it's a choice. What are we going to choose? Are we going to choose the courageous thing and do the thing that's right and speak out and lend a hand? Or will we be afraid? It's okay to be afraid, but will our fear silence us and keep us from doing what we're here to do on behalf of all beings and our planet and all souls? So that is what I got. Satnam.
Oh my God. Yes, we can feel that. You are incredible. He has been with Baba Siddhi for years, because she has put this whole situation, this, what do you call it, this place?
Yes, land. Mm-hmm.
It is all, she is leading this whole place that comes from Baba Siddhi. Understand that from everyone to keep up with all of this pure Baba Siddhi and soul. This is it. God bless you, dear. Thank you
Satnam.
so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Beyond doubts, Prem.
Satnam.
Satnam.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for sharing. That was beautiful. So, fear regarding truth is the challenges coming forward, like, and how they come into our within our presence or within our daily lives, and how we're handling that situation. How are we handling that situation from our mission statement, or are we changing our stand, or what are we doing out here, because we know that the media has a lot to do with what's going on, but there also is a truth that we can see inside of a person that has a mission statement of their own, and um, you know going for that role, casting yourself for that role, and then being put into that role is, I think that we're at a time now, right? As far as this coming together goes, of our, being okay with this. We need to have courage to face this truth, right? In a way, because if we look back in history, we can see a lot of stories that are there, right? What, 18,000 stories from people at a minimum. If you want to go into Job G, I've been listening to Job C. So I heard the word earth, the earth. How true is the earth, and what is our focus? Is it ephemeral? Is it scientific? What are we doing? Are we using our heart, or are we going and quoting others, and you know coming from different ways as to say this is the right way or this is the wrong way? So I think in noticing that regard, what is our regard to the truth, and how are we facing that? Are we coming forward with it? Is Because when we react in fear, we can often find a way to hurt, I think, and that's something that if we don't learn that from the history, and we don't learn it from our own behavior, then maybe we need to be taught, and that asking for help is very important. But being able to accept the help as well is why we have a justice system, right? And for me, I mean, I haven't looked up to many people, but I know that the stories that I heard, and the one that still gets me today is Crispus Attucks, and his four friends, who they just sort of ran at the loud voices who were saying, you don't deserve this, and you don't deserve this, and the queen and the king say this, and you need to do this, and what have you. And then guess what? The queen didn't even have work for them, and they had to start looking for work. And so they started to look for work, and then that created a situation with the people who were being oppressed, who didn't have work and were asked to give all their money. And I think that in a sense, we're not oppressed anymore, and we have our own stability, that we're able to come to this point of the money really isn't important anymore, right? The idea of power really can't be important to us, as if we're surrendering to, ourselves, and coming forward with that, and noticing all of this new science that's coming at us in the forms of robots and whatnot. That is that fearful? No, well, that's part of the technology that's going on. But us coming together as a group is the ultimate technology. The people walking together, the people working together, turning the soil, planting seeds, coming back to that celebration of the daily life, as opposed to, I mean, in this country, it's becoming, it's fear that they want us to be ruled by, but we're outside, and we're enjoying ourselves. So I think if we stay with that coming from within, and staying from within that truth, because we're here with the earth, right? And the earth can give us truth beyond any word. And I think if we listen to that, we can notice, where our focus is going. Are we part of the earth? Are we sharing that with all the lives that are around us, some of the lives that are around us? And sometimes we do need to ask and question why we're, the people that we're with, because we are going to run into some situations that, may bring out fear as regarding truth, and that can be challenging. And I think that's sort of a circle for me personally, and with Baba Siri Chand, as an entity, as a person, as an example for me to live by, right? Is how we share, how we give ourselves, and then we offer parts of ourselves, and we feed each other, and we come up with sorts of schedules to work together, and the communication will ultimately have us, doing what we're doing and being able to stop wars in certain areas from inside our heart, and then bring that to what we're doing forward in our mission statement, and yes, asking for help and also offering help that's I'm a willing and able person, and I am here for other people regardless of their orientation or their color or their race or their creed or the song that they're singing, and it's also beautiful that we can come back to that, that notice of celebration, how we have ways that make us feel good that are, coming to us freely, which is our music and our breathing and, focusing on our health and our body. So, and bless each one of us too, in this way that we're moving forward, because it is a challenge, right? And I think if we're in that Waheguru, we can come to that point of noticing the appreciation, and that can bring us right through the fear, because the fear, truth is fearful, right? I mean, we're faced with these things of what people are saying and what they're doing, and let's stand together with that, because we are millions, and there's hundreds of millions of people out here, right? And we're all looking for a home, and we're all looking for comfort and warmth and sustenance in our diet. And this is becoming the way that we are doing. So let's become stronger in that and do it more together in that. Yeah. So much truth in that breathing that allows us to erase that and come into the silence is where I think a lot of our truth comes. And when we're working and when we're doing things good for ourselves, cleaning ourselves and feeding ourselves, I think that that's good. And by doing this in that way, it becomes part of our diet and part of our being and part of our way of living, that it is spreading throughout the earth, because there are so many people, and we know that we have a lot of love to share, and it's good to have that caring within that, being able to face that fear, through the courage of the facing the challenge daily, yeah, and coming into a practice. And thank you so much for this opportunity. Waheguru, Waheguru, Waheguru.
Thank you so much. God bless you, dear. Okay, now Vade Bachchan. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. So the first thing that Baba said was, truth is true. You know it through the deep sense of feeling and hearing. Truth is love. Fear, it has its own vibration. You can talk to it, ask it for its message, its gift, why it has come, what does it have to share. See and witness the fear, hold it in love without needing to fix or change it. And then I was being shown how through the breath, and specifically heart breath, like breathing through the heart, like it is a transformer, like immediate, basically alchemy. And so from the heart through the breath, the fear shifts to fearlessness through simply just breathing with presence into the fear. And then what came was fear of death, change, transformation, fear of the unknown. What's needed is to be held like a caterpillar in its cocoon as it transforms to goo, light, and then a butterfly, like a child in the womb that is held by the mother. Create a womb, a container of light, of safety, of containment, of protection, so the transformation and rebirth can happen from the inside out. And again, he said, truth is love.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sounds like a poem.
Yeah, it kind of came through that way towards the end.
Okay. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Now we all really know what is happening. You know this. God bless you. Okay. Joe Gian Davy.
Okay, hi there. It is what it takes to evolve humanity. We must learn to go beyond fear and to trust and to love. You will see your path. You will teach how to love and be fearless. Divisions will melt away.
Well,
Unity, excuse me,
I'm sorry. You said division and then,
divisions will melt away.
oh, good.
Unity will blossom, and sooner than you think. Peace will be on earth. This is your truth. It is spreading all over the world. Be aware to spread, wait a minute, be aware to spread unity and melting words of division and separation. Be aware of your words. That's all I got. But I didn't stop. I just stopped midstream.
This is wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Was there a little other thing that you said?
I felt that it was coming through was our words are so powerful, and I could only catch words of division. You just have to melting words of division and separation, and all of us do it. We all are aware that we can change it, and know it's hard. I can really tell that it's hard, but I didn't go into it. But I felt the really strong point. So no, that's as far as I got.
This is great. Okay. Good. And if there was something else, you can give that to us on our recording. Is that okay, Japa Saraswati?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Anybody can go in and add things to the comments.
Yes.
And because can I say this? When I was listening to the recordings last week from the old Soul Answer recordings on YouTube, I really had this sense of time traveling back to 2014 to be there, and that we have that ability to talk to our past selves through these recordings, as well as to our future selves and all of the other people who may listen to these in the future. We can have a fully interactive experience with the past and the future, like through this media, only by using it. Amazing.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you, dear. Okay. So are you saying that you can go before about I'm sorry. I'm sure you understand what she said. Okay. Thank you, dear.
Thanks.
Okay. So, Sahesh. Sahesh?
Yeah, it took me a second. I not felt like I was mostly here to receive the messages. Um, But it did help to be reminded that, because when I heard the theme this morning, I felt it viscerally, because I am having to go through my son's business records and a bunch of other material things, and I don't know, like this happens when around death for reasons passing understanding, but some people can get really strangely grasping and behave in a really hideous way towards the bereaved. And in this circumstance, now I'm getting it, that the balm to my heart is that the truth is a knowing, and that there's nothing to fear, and that even having to deal with truly vile behavior, that if I step aside into the knowing, first of all, that there's love coming at me from all over the world, quite literally, and in many languages, and from such a diversity of people, that's the central truth. And that, especially when one is vulnerable, and this is true for all of us in many circumstances, when we're vulnerable, there are people who will, for whatever reason, see our vulnerability and feel some twisted desire to exploit it. And it feels terrible. And it seems so unconscionable, and it seems so unjust. And all those things are true. And the deeper truth is the knowing that there is something behind that behavior, and that grasping, and that will to destruction, that I can't think of the word. It's not require, and it's not elicit necessarily, but there is what is in truth behind all of that, that can inspire compassion. And simply knowing that truth is the balm.
Say it again.
Simply knowing that truth, that even these terrible things behind those actions, behind those destructive things, is a motivation. Something motivated that, and whatever that was in that person's life can inspire compassion for that person. It doesn't mean I have to feel it now. It's not a requirement, but it's good to know that I know. that behind all that, there's a wounded being. And can I wish for the alleviation of suffering for all beings? Yes, I can. Yes, I can. Yes, I can. And that's, if we just drop into our deep sense of knowing, that can be available to us. A way to dissipate that fear, because it inspires fear. For someone who's willing to attack someone in such a vulnerable state, that creates fear because it tells you there's nobody driving the bus. There's not a functional adult driving that bus. And so that's scary, because in my experience and observation, that is relentless, because that person is seeking something that they're not going to find in that way. They're seeking to alleviate something inside of them by that action, and that's not going to work. And so they become relentless. We see this around, this is not unique to my circumstance. We see this in the world around us. Certainly, we see it being played out politically. It's not hard to imagine these people who we are talking about politically are exactly that same thing. I mean, I just look at for instance, what was referred to earlier, the Bishop Marianne Budd speaking with grace and dignity, making a genuine plea in clear but gentle language. And you see this man sitting there, and he's a giant 4-year-old. He's restless. He can't focus. Even before she said anything so direct to him, he's a child. And he's now out to destroy the world because he can't fill that void. So it isn't that those people aren't dangerous. They are dangerous. But, the bigger truth is that knowing, which allows us to both protect ourselves and to just move on to also the other truth, which is that there's love coming at us from everywhere on the planet. And like Satya Shan was saying earlier, there's a perfect example of this, exactly stepping out, doing a brave and righteous, necessary thing to create a safe haven for people, and then being met with these, like, how can anybody behave that way, right? How can anybody not want people to have a safe haven? And they're out there and they're acting and they're scary. And then you see all these other people rising up and saying, oh no, we're not having that. No, we're here to protect the protectors. So I think that's, what gives me courage this morning too. And I just love whoever it was that articulated that. The truth is the knowing. It's not the facts that we've reviewed. It's not, it's the knowing. It's the deep knowing. And we all have access to that. And that's a miracle. And I'm surprised, as I ever am, that I have anything at all. But there it is. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, now, everybody You already made so incredible knowing that I'm saying this before Sat Nishan. Japa Saraswati is making recording for all of us. But would you all please take this recording to everyone that you know about? And even when you don't know other people, because you begin to understand what's happening about all of us. Is that okay? Is everybody understand that?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Yes.
Yes. Good.
Yes.
So let it know all around. Okay. Honey Munder? Honey Munder, are you there?
I could go and Hadi Munder could continue to get ready. I don't know if she might feel ready
Okay.
after.
Thank you.
So the first thing, my notes are really messy. The first thing that I heard was Satnam, or our true self. The truth will set you free, and truth or consequences. And what I found from that was when we're in our Satnam, we're in our true identity, and this is being totally free flowing, moving, very fluid and light. But that, and when we're in our soul self or our Satnam, we really are keyed into when something is not true. You know, like I remember one time sitting across from somebody and she told me something that wasn't true, even though she believed it was true. And I saw like these heat waves coming up between the two of us as if to tell me the message she was giving me wasn't right. And in retrospect, I really see that as me being so in my Satnam that my energy field just cued me in to, even though she thought she was telling the truth, the thing she was saying wasn't true. And that's because I was, so in my soul self. And so the message from Baba is that, or part of the message from Baba is that this can be, we can really feel maybe alarmed or troubled about it, but we don't need to feel afraid when we see something that's not true. Um, and what I saw more about that is that that's dark energy, that's why it's the opposite of the truth, which is in the light. If it's not true, it's in a dark energy, it's dense, and it's karma producing. Um, and and that can induce fear, like to feel like, oh my gosh, this karma is coming. But fear, just Satnishan, thank you so much for your big message today, because fear is what the purpose of some of this is. I feel like there's fear mongering on the media right now, and part of the message that I got earlier was about vritti. Vritti is the Sanskrit word for the undulations of the mind, and it's very reactive, and that's what fear is. Fear is vritti, and it causes a lot of waves, it causes a lot of tumult, it causes a lot of reaction, and it also makes us stuck, because when we're in the middle of the waves, it's like, oh my gosh, everything's moving around, let's stay still. Do everything you can do to be secure, because everything feels like it's moving. Um, and it's also about being complicit with the status quo and not being in the flow. Like truth is being in the flow. Um, so what I found from Baba was to come into neutrality using heart breath and frequency of forgiveness for both the self and the situation, to neutralize that fear so that we can just stay really grounded in truth and in that Satnam, because that essential self, that soul self, that true self is completely unchanging, unmoving. The truth is like gold. You can't tarnish it. You can't diminish it. It's an element. It can't be reduced any further. So it can't be ruined. The truth can't be ruined. So we don't need to be feeling fear when something is, I don't want to say a threat to truth, because there's nothing that's a threat to truth, but when something is not in its truth, we don't need to be feeling fear about it. That was my message.
Wonderful. God bless you, dear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Now, I
Thank you,
also,
G.
huh?
Thank you, G.
That was Sat City, City Gian. Did you get the cue, Sat City, about that this is fear regarding truth, that we were meditating on fear about the truth?
Yes, thank you so much.
About truth.
I've been sick and fell asleep and didn't wake up, but I jumped on as soon as I woke up. Thank you, everybody. Beautiful.
Okay. Are you talking from us? Sat City?
Yes, Satnam,
Satnam.
did you have a question? Did I miss that?
Did you hear from Baba City Chan for fear regarding truth?
I just was listening really carefully to everyone.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and I'll listen to the recording. It just reminded my name's Sat City.
Okay.
And Sat is great. Truth is it's a challenge. It's a challenge to be able to. I shouldn't say a challenge. It's a practice of truth that helps me not be afraid of the truth. So yeah, it was a growth. It's been a huge part of the growth of my life in the Dharma and in this practices.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do know is there's always angels around, and Guru Ram Dass chant really helps me when I have a challenging truth that I'm having difficulty digesting, facing, and the defenses against truth. Guru Ram Dass is a really big help too. Baba Siddhi Chand. So I would pass.
Good. Thank you so much. Now, what about Hari Munder? Hari Munder?
Yeah, okay. I couldn't find the unmute button. What I got in the very beginning was that we've all been through this kind of reality throughout history. At the in the through the Crusades, through the Dark Ages, through the Gazas, through the long marches, Native Americans, through the Holocausts that have been throughout the last 2025 years. but we've also been the perpetrators throughout that time also. And I don't really, maybe it was Sahej that was saying, when you go deeper into anyone's experience, you will find the trauma that is created, that has helped to create the person that they are. And when I was a lobbyist back in the 70s, 80s, 90s, I was to look at my adversary and then find out what we had in common, and going back deeply into that other person's experience to where we diverged, what trauma or what experience created the other view of life than of this or situation or bill or whatever. But it takes a lot of work to do that. And at least in those times, it took a lot of work. But we have the skills or the tools now that can peel off the layers with some compassion of those who are on the others, who and how grateful we are for that ability to have compassion in the midst of the most, and I like the word vile that we've been using today, so much better than the H word. It's so finding that place at which we agree, or going way back to where the understanding is. And it takes courage. When I was a lobbyist, I could stand up for what I believed at the beginning of the women's movement and the beginning of so many issues affecting the country. I could be the leader because I wasn't going to lose my job. I wasn't going to lose my house. I wasn't going to lose anything. I had to speak for those who couldn't speak, because they would lose too much to speak. And so our job now is to speak for those who feel they cannot speak, but also to give voice. Monday was also Martin Luther King Day, and the whole movement in the 60s was about joy as a resistance. And it was in the songs and in the music that created the joy, the acknowledgement of what was a challenge, but the joining together. So, and the singing and the joy the joy itself is beyond words. So that's one aspect of all this. And it's scary. I've been listening to Sir Gian for a couple decades now, I guess. And she always said these terrible things that are going to happen. And that was always scary. Well, here they are. And but they've happened before, and people have blossomed out of them. So that's all.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, so we have had everybody here now. I just want to make sure. Japa Saraswati, do we have everybody?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, good. God bless you. This has been so incredible. This is true for us. We know that because now we have begun to know what's happening. We got it. Okay, so keep up together. God bless you all. Come together. And so, Agya Paul, can you sing our song?
Sure. Thank
Okay.
you. Privilege. So, in the deepest truth, let's rub our hands together, get the energy, and inhale and exhale. And inhale to begin. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. God bless you all. Feel your, be true, love, know who you are. God bless you all. Love you.
Okay.
God bless. Love you all.
Satnam, everyone.
Thank you.
Have a great week.
Yeah.
Okay. Bless you all.